The evidence you shall give the court and jury in the trial of this issue shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good morning.
Good morning, Judge.
Good morning. Could you please introduce yourself to the jury?
My name is Jennie Cox.
C-O-X.
Yes, sir.
And what's your spelling of Jenny?
It's Jennie.
Where do you work?
I work at the Chatham County Police Department.
And what is your position there?
I'm currently an agent at the counter narcotics team.
Okay. So like Marion Lemons, you're detailed out to CNT right now?
Yes, sir.
Prior to that detailing, were you a detective with Chatham County Police Department's Criminal Investigations Division?
Yes, sir, I was.
What was the general time period of your being a detective in CID?
I was a detective for about a year, from January of 2021 till about January, February of 2022.
Now, were you a detective in CID during the time period of this investigation?
Yes, sir, I was.
Well, this was October of 2022, right?
Yes, sir.
So I thought you just said you were a detective from January of 2021 to January of 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, it would have been January of 2022 to January of 2023.
Okay, thank you. When did you join the Chatham County Police Department to begin with?
I was hired in September of 2020.
And are you from the local area?
No, sir, I'm not.
Okay. Where are you from?
I was originally born in the Memphis area in Tennessee.
Now, let me draw your attention to October of 2022, the beginning of this investigation, okay?
Yes, sir.
You were a detective at that time.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you about October 5th specifically, and what, if any, involvement you had on that day.
During the day of October 5th of 2022, I originally stayed at our detective's office, which is located at our Highlands precinct on Whitmarsh Island. I assisted with the first search warrant for the residents of 535 Buckhalter Road.
Were you out there with Detective Kiana Robbins, who we heard from a few days ago?
Yes, sir, I was.
And I think we introduced the search warrant for the house into evidence through her. You said you assisted in preparing that?
Yes, sir, I did.
Can you tell us about that?
We gathered the facts that was relayed to us by the detectives who were on scene that day, and we gathered those facts, wrote them up in an affidavit to present the affidavit to the judge to request a search warrant for the residents to gather more evidence.
Now, from the Islands Precinct CID offices, at some point did you go to the Chatham County Police Department headquarters where all of these interviews were being conducted?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did you yourself, were you on any of the 3 interview teams that we've heard about?
No, sir, I was not.
Did you have any interaction with any of the 3 people who were there for interviews, Danny, Paul, or the defendant?
Yes, I did sit with the three of them at different times just while the interviews were being conducted.
And did you go to the scene that day, to 535 Buckhalter? I shouldn't call it the scene, I'll call it the residence. Did you go out there at any point?
No, sir, I didn't.
Moving on to October 6th, did you have any involvement in the investigation on that day?
Yes, sir. I wrote another search warrant and affidavit for a vehicle infotainment system for the vehicle belonging to Miss Simon, which was a 2015 Dodge Journey.
And I think we're about to get into this. Is it fair to say that the bulk of your involvement involved preparing affidavits and seeking and obtaining search warrants?
Yes, sir.
And who was primarily directing you on what information or premises to get search warrants for?
It was primarily the case team, including Detective Lemons.
Okay, so you were primarily providing assistance with search warrants.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's go through some of those. But before we do the search warrant stuff, I want to ask you this. Were you involved in an interview of Henry Bubba Moss Jr.?
Yes, sir, I was.
And was that on October 6th?
Yes, sir.
Did you also interview his girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
And where did those interviews take place?
Those occurred at the Chatham County Police Department headquarters at our annex.
And how were those arranged?
I believe someone made contact with Henry Moss, and he traveled to meet with us to speak with us regarding the investigation.
And where was he living at that time?
I think it was somewhere near Augusta, a couple of hours away.
Was that also the case for his girlfriend?
Yes, sir.
And did they come down willingly and talk to you?
Yes, sir, they did.
And that was on October 6th?
Yes, sir.
So let's get back to these search warrants. Do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 39?
Yes, I do.
Take a look at that and tell us whether you recognize that.
Yes, I do.
Can you tell us what that document is?
This is the order for the search warrant affidavit for the infotainment system for the vehicle that I just spoke about.
Take another look at it. Well, do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 40?
Yes, I do.
Okay, look at those documents alongside of each other. Okay. Are those different documents?
Yes, they are.
Okay. What is 39 and what is 40?
39 is the search warrant for the vehicle, and 40 is the search warrant for the infotainment system.
Okay, 39, the search warrant for the vehicle itself.
Yes, sir.
Who actually executed that search warrant?
It was the Chatham County Police Department forensics team.
Okay, but you obtained the search warrant itself.
Yes, sir.
Is this a fair and accurate copy of the warrant that you obtained?
Yes, sir, it is.
I would introduce this as State's Exhibit 39.
Judge, can I look at it real quick, just to make sure? I don't think I
I'll
have
tell
it.
you what, I had. This is that.
No objection, Judge.
39 is admitted without objection.
Tell us again what State's Exhibit 40 is.
It is the search warrant for the infotainment system for the vehicle.
And we've heard a little bit of testimony about that, but is that an accurate copy of the infotainment search warrant?
Yes, sir.
When did you obtain that search warrant?
This was on October 6th of 2022.
Was this at the same time as you got the search warrant for the vehicle itself?
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay. From the same judge?
Yes, sir.
I would introduce this as State's Exhibit 40.
Having reviewed the exhibit, Judge, no objection.
Okay, it is admitted without objection.
Now, what were y'all trying to do with this infotainment search warrant?
So essentially, infotainment search warrant is just a search warrant for the information system within the vehicle. That information system can give data to us, like GPS location, when the vehicle stops, when the doors open on the vehicle, speeds on the vehicle. It can also provide information like the odometer, and if a phone is hooked up to the information system, like a Bluetooth phone, it'll say what calls were made, what text messages were made. So everything that would be within an information system within a vehicle.
Now, can you get infotainment data from every make and model of vehicle?
No, you can't.
And were y'all able to get it from the vehicle at issue in this case, the what year?
2015.
2015 Dodge Journey?
No, sir, we were not.
But you tried.
We tried, yes, sir.
Is it that you weren't able to pull it, or that data just doesn't exist and isn't able to be obtained on that vehicle?
It was not able to be obtained on that vehicle.
Okay. Do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 41?
Yes, sir, I do.
Okay. And do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It is a search warrant for Life 360.
And who obtained that search warrant?
I did.
It's a search warrant addressed to the company Life 360, right?
Yes, sir.
And what were you asking for?
I was requesting data from the Life 360 account from Ms. Leilani Simon and also Mr. Daniel Youngkin. The information that can be provided is location data. Also, there is a way to chat on the application, so you can send messages to people you're sharing your data with. And it also will detect speed and if you're instantly braking or any driving data, it'll provide. So that's what I was requesting, along with subscriber information for both of these accounts.
And how did you identify these accounts in the warrant?
The accounts were identified by phone numbers.
And what was the phone number that you had in there for Daniel Youngkin's Life 360 data?
It was 910-729-1458,
And what about the defendants?
912-547-5275.
This is a fair and accurate copy of your Life 360 search warrant.
Yes, sir.
I would introduce this as State's Exhibit 41.
Having reviewed it, Judge, no objection.
Okay, it is admitted without objection.
How did you serve that warrant on Life 360?
I emailed it to Life 360 to their legal team.
And did you receive responsive records in response to that search warrant?
Yes, I did.
And how did they send them to you?
They sent them to me by email in a zip file.
Did you download that and save it?
Yes, sir, I did.
And did you provide it to Detective Lemons and the case team?
Yes, sir.
Did you provide it to Taylor Burns of the FBI?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do you see in front of you an item labeled State's Exhibit 42?
Yes, sir.
Can you open that? It's an envelope, right?
Yes, sir.
Can you open it up and take a look at the contents? What do you have there in your hand?
I have a disk with the Life 360 data that was provided and a certification of the records from Life 360.
Your Honor, I would call for this as State's Exhibit 42.
Can I approach and look at the affidavit real quick, Judge? Thank you. No objection to State's 42, Judge. It does seem to be a certification with this respect.
Yes, the 42 is admitted without objection.
And that disc contains the records that you provided to the case team and Taylor Burns.
Yes, sir.
At some point, did Detective Lemons ask you to help out with getting some of Quentin Simon's historical medical records?
Yes, sir, she did.
And did you do that?
I did.
Do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 43 and a document marked as State's Exhibit 44?
Yes.
Take a look at those two documents. Take as much time as you need, because I understand I'm asking you to look at a lot of things, because you did a lot of things. And let me know when you're ready to talk about those two documents, okay?
I'm ready.
All right. What is 43?
43 is medical records from Flowers Hospital.
Just to be clear, is it the medical records themselves, or is it the search warrant for them?
It's the search warrant for the medical records.
Okay. From where now?
From Flowers Hospital.
And what about 44?
For St. Joseph's Candler Hospital.
Okay. Now, did you obtain these two search warrants?
Yes, sir, I did.
And when did you obtain these?
These were on October 17th of 2022.
And did you serve them on those two, one Flowers Hospital and one St. Joe's Candler?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The 43 and 44, are they accurate copies of those two warrants you got?
Yes, they are.
I would introduce these as State's Exhibit 43 and 44, Your Honor.
No objection to either, Judge. I reviewed both.
Okay, there's exhibits 43 and 44 admitted without objection.
After you served them on these two hospitals, did each of them provide responsive records to you?
Yes, sir, they did.
Medical records of Quentin Simon?
Yes.
Did you provide those records to Agent Lemons and the case team?
Yes, I did.
Now, do you see in front of you a document marked as State's Exhibit 45?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what is that?
Phone records pertaining to Daniel Youngkin's cell phone.
And what is the phone number that y'all had for Daniel Youngkin?
It's 910-729-1458.
Is this another thing that then detectives asked you to take care of?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you did it?
Yes.
Okay. When did you get this search warrant?
This was on October 28th of 2022.
Now, I don't know whether you know the answer to this or not, but had the case team already obtained those phone records very early on in response to an emergency request to Verizon?
Yes, sir.
And the purpose of it was just to circle back around and get them in a more formal manner?
Yes.
Okay. Same records in any case, though?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would introduce this as State's Exhibit 45.
No objection, Judge.
45 is admitted without objection.
Now, did you serve that warrant on Verizon?
I did.
And how did you do that?
I emailed it to Verizon.
Did they have like a law enforcement email address where they receive search warrants or something like that?
Yes, sir.
Do you see in front of you
Same day on October 28th of 2022.
Okay, so October 28th is the day you get search warrants for search warrant on Verizon.
Yes, I did.
And in response to these two search warrants, did Verizon provide you with responsive records?
Yes, they did.
Do you see in front of you an object marked as State's Exhibit 46?
Yes, sir.
And I hope I'm here by going out of order, but if you could open that up and tell us what's in there.
This is a disc containing the records from Daniel Youngkin's cell phone, from Verizon, the cell phone records.
Okay, so, and does it contain a certificate of authenticity from a business record certificate from Verizon?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right, so 46 is the search warrant for Daniel. It's 45, 46, 47, 48.
Can I approach the witness and look at the...
Yes.
Thank you. State's Exhibit 46. It's the disc of Verizon records, and it has a certificate of authenticity. So the defense has no objection as to 46. As to State's Exhibit 48, having reviewed the same, it has the same thing. State's Exhibit 48 has a disc with the business records and the certificate of authenticity, so we lodge no objection to that either. My recollection is that 45 and 47 were search warrants, which I've already looked at. We have no objection to those either. So I think that covers all four exhibits.
It does. States Exhibits 45, 46, 47, 48 are admitted without objection.
Let me know when you're ready to move on, okay?
Okay. I'm ready.
Those phone records that we've just talked about, both sets of them, once you received them, did you forward them to Detective Lemons?
Yes, I did.
And did you forward them to Taylor Burns of the FBI as well?
Yes.
Now, sometime later in October, were you asked to obtain a couple of search warrants for DNA?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about that?
They were requested from the FBI to compare against DNA of any remains found in the landfill.
And whose DNA were you asked to get search warrants for?
Miss Leilani Simon and her mother, Billie Joe Howell.
And did you obtain search warrants for their DNA?
Yes, sir.
Can you look at State's Exhibit 49 and 50? Do you recognize those documents?
Yes, sir.
What are those?
These are the search warrants for Leilani Simon's DNA and Billie Joe Howell's DNA.
And did you obtain those search warrants?
Yes, sir.
What date did you obtain those search warrants?
That was on October 28th of 2022.
Are these fair and accurate copies of those two search warrants?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I would introduce these as States 49 and 50.
Having reviewed both exhibits, Judge, no objection.
Okay. 49 and 50 are admitted.
Now, did you yourself serve these search warrants, or I guess execute them?
Are you talking about the DNA search warrants?
Yeah.
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Somebody else actually got the swabs and all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You mentioned that you were present at Chatham County Police Headquarters for a period of time on October 5th,
Yes, sir.
day one of the investigation.
Yes, sir.
And were you aware that a phone had been seized from each one of the defendant, Danny Youngkin and Paul Simon,
Yes.
and that phone extractions had been performed at the Chatham County Police Department?
Yes.
At some point, were you involved in the transport of the defendant's phone for a second phone extraction?
Yes.
Can you tell us what your involvement in that was?
I transported the phone to Savannah Police Department's forensic examiner, Mr. Williams, or Officer Williams, and he performed a second extraction on the cell phone.
What type of extraction did he perform?
It's a gray key extraction, and it's just a different program, different from Cellbrite that was extracted at the Chatham County Police Department that oftentimes can do further extraction and provide more data.
Now, when you said you did this with the phone,
Yes, sir.
I want to clarify which phone we're talking about.
It was Leilani Simon's phone.
Okay. And when was it that you took the defendant's phone to Officer Williams of the Savannah Police Department for the gray key extraction?
That was on October 7th of 2022.
Do you remember who you got it from to take it over there in the first place?
I believe it was from Sergeant Coleman.
Okay. And he's with Chatham County Police Forensics?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you took it to Officer Williams of the Savannah Police Department?
Yes.
Did he perform a gray key extraction of the defendant's phone?
Yes, he did.
And did he provide that extraction to you?
Yes, he did.
And how did he provide it to you? Would it have been like a disk or a thumb drive or something like that?
I don't recall exactly what kind of device it was on, but it was something of a USB or a drive.
Some sort of digital storage media?
Yes, sir.
Did he give you the phone back as well?
Yes, sir, he did.
And did you take those two items back to the case team?
Yes, I did.
Did you make that gray key extraction available to Detective Lemons?
Yes.
And did you make it available to Taylor Burns of the FBI?
Yes, sir.
Were you involved in any of the canvas operations, the neighborhood canvas operations that we've heard a little bit about?
Yes, sir, I was.
Can you tell us about which one you were involved in?
I was involved in the canvas of Azalea Mobile Homes.
And what was your specific involvement?
I was serving as an interpreter. Most of the residents of Azalea Mobile Homes don't speak English, they speak Spanish.
And I take it you speak Spanish as well?
Yes, sir.
One moment, please, okay? No further questions, Your Honor.
Just a few questions. I'm going to ask a generalized question that I might kind of get back down if I need to, but I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. You mostly did the search warrants and collected the records that we've discussed here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you did the search warrants for the DNA, but you didn't do the collection on that, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you did a canvas of the Azalea Mobile Home Park.
Yes, sir.
What day was that?
I don't recall. I know it was the Sunday following when the investigation started, but I don't recall the exact date.
And that's fine. But that was pretty much the extent of your involvement in the case that I'm aware of and that Mr. Deans asked you about, correct?
Yes, sir. I just kind of served as a assistance role throughout the investigation.
And that's all I wanted to make sure of. So you took the records and passed it on to Detective Lemons or Taylor Burns, correct?
Yes, sir.
Didn't do any interpretation or other than that?
No, sir.
Same thing with the phone extraction. You just collected the data and turned it over, correct?
Yes, sir.
That's all the questions I got, Judge. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. King, no redirect at this point.
No, Your Honor.
Okay, you may step down.
Thank you, Judge.